Hello, welcome to Yin Yoga. So today we're working on the spine, moving the spine in the six different ways. So we've got flexion, where we're rounding the back, extension, extending, and we've got lateral stretches and twists. We'll also at the same time be working on hip stretches and stretches for our legs. So I'm going to start in butterfly, which is I'll start with the first four basic moves for yin, for the flexion. So we're sitting, I'm sitting on a cushion because it helps me to fold forward better, to flex my spine better because my hips are elevated. And then I can choose to bring the feet closer in to the body or take the feet further away. And we're going to hold for 5 minutes. I've got my egg timer ready. So depending on where you want to feel a stretch more would be always depends where you place your hands and place your feet. So if you want to feel a target area of the inner thigh, the adductors, you bring the feet closer in, and you also keep the spine flat or neutral and draw the chest through. So maybe notice your breathing. So it's always good to start a session noticing our breath, noticing where we feel a stretch, notice whether there might be more tension in the body. We can also close our eyes to block out any external distractions. Also helps us to access the different sensations in the body. So a couple of minutes in, I'm going to change the position of my feet and my hands. So I'm walking my feet forward a bit and bringing the hands forward as well. Now changing the spine to flexion. So the target area will change to more maybe the hamstrings or the lower back. And I'm bringing the crown of the head forward towards the feet and my chin towards my chest. Take your hands further forward. You'll notice the stretch intensifies in your back. So maybe focus on breathing into the back. Let the breath go into the spaces between the discs, between the vertebrae. going to bring ourselves out slowly. So yin, it's all about the rebound when we come out of the posture. So we press into the hands. As we lift up, notice the back as it deflexes. And then coming to the counter pose, we're going to spend about a minute on our counter poses. So the counter poses undo or let the energy or the chi circulate around the body. So we're taking our feet apart and our knees apart. And knees, we can remove a block or a cushion if we're on that. So knees to one side. Notice maybe the pulling on the outer hip, knees to the centre, knees to the opposite side. And we can go where we hold a little bit or keep the movement a bit more dynamic. We should notice as we move the knees side to side that maybe the tension in the outer hip slightly eases. So yin is, I think, a simple yin practice or yoga practice. It's mainly about noticing deep stretches, holding, so nothing really fancy, but it is quite, well, it's very beneficial. And one more to the side, and coming forward onto our elbows in extension of the spine. So if I have my cushion just in front, I'm lying on my front. So for some people this will be quite a strong posture. The more we do it the better. We'll go through 4 poses, and if we can even just do these for 2 minutes each day, so making a total of 8 to 10 minutes, we're moving our spine in the different ways, and how young we are depends on how much we can move our spine, or how young our body feels will depend on how much we can flex, extend, twist and side stretch our spine. So the Sphinx is compressing the spine. We're also stretching open the front of the body quite gently. If we press into the elbows and bring our chest forward, we'll tone our abdominals without having to do sit-ups. The sit-ups aren't really that good for our posture. So Sphinx is a much better, gentle stretch. So I'll go through a few different options that we can do with the Sphinx. So if you feel like you want to go much deeper and you're not getting much of a stretch, you can go into the seal. And that's where you place your hands in front and the arms are straight. And we could even walk the hands further in. And that's one's enough for me. Another option is to bring the elbows to rest on a cushion. So lifting the elbows a bit higher creates more compression in your spine, deeper stretch in the front of the body. Then if you want less, you would still get the compression in your spine if you make a pillow with your hands and rest your head on your hands. There's still slight compression in the spine in this pose called crocodile. I'm going to hold for about another 3 minutes in whichever Sphinx or crocodile works for you. If you feel like a deeper stretch in the legs or the front of the thighs, the quads, we can lift the feet up. We can flex the toes or we can point the toes. We can rotate the ankles. If that's too much, bring the feet down. Again, another option which is a bit more restful is to Press your elbows into the floor and rest your head in your hands. Close the eyes if that feels good. Focus on your breathing. We've got one more stretch to add to the Sphinx. So creating a bit of a stretch for our shoulders, the where we get stuck between the shoulder blades. So left hand is in front and right hand underneath. We're walking the fingertips away from each other with the palm down. And then we're resting our chin or our cheek on our top arm, our left arm. Hold here for 6 breaths. And then we lift up slowly, change sides, so the left hand's underneath, right arm on top. Again, walking the fingertips away, resting the cheek or the chin on the top arm. And lift up slowly again. And then make a pillow with your hands. And turn towards your right elbow. And bring the right knee up towards the right elbow. And just rest about 6 breaths. And bring the right knee down, look towards your left elbow, draw the left knee up. Bring the left knee down, pressing into the hands. So we come out slowly, remember, notice the rebound, notice what's happening. And we're lying down on our back and bringing the knees into the chest. A bit of dynamic movement here for the back. So the knees are apart and the feet are together. And your hands are on each knee. You just bringing the knees into the chest, maybe curling the chin up towards the chest and looking towards the feet. So the spine is rounding, and then lowering the head down and gently take the knees away. So about in line with the hip. and you want to feel the back flat, pressing into the floor. Draw the knees in, draw the knees away. So feeling the difference, curling the spine, lifting the tailbone off a little bit, and then taking the feet away. If you feel like a neck stretch, you would draw the head towards the knees. So kind of working on the articulation of our spine, lengthening the spine as we curl, and flattening the spine as we take the knees away. Bring both feet to the floor and stretch out both legs. Now we've got our lateral stretches of the side of the body. So here we're going into the banana asana, making a shape of the banana. So head and shoulders over to the right, and then feet and legs over to the right. Try and keep your left hip down. You should feel a stretch up the outside, left hand side of the body. So here you can cross your left ankle over your right ankle, or your right ankle over your left. I prefer left over right. And then stretch the arms above the head, taking the hands over to the right as well. And hold your right wrist with your left hand. So breathing now as deeply as you can. Try and extend your inhale, which will allow a deeper exhale. Across the ankles, bring the arms down, maybe press into the elbows to ease yourself back into the centre, and press the feet into the floor. Here we can do a couple of pelvic tilts. So we're arching the back away. If you bring your hands underneath your back, you can feel the back arching away in extension, and then tucking the tailbone under, the back flattens in flexion of your lower back. So arching, so pelvic tilts. Feel quite good. Then stretch out your left leg, bring the right knee in towards the chest, hug the right knee in. And then draw the left knee into the chest, extend the right leg along the floor. the left leg down and walk the feet over to the left, maybe crossing the ankles, edge of the shoulders over to the left. Stretch the arms above the head and take hold of the left wrist with the right hand. Make sure the neck and the jaw is soft and relaxed. And breathe again, focusing on a deep inhale, a deep exhale. Just need to get a drink. Stay there breathing. About 6 more breaths in your left side Banasana. And we'll bring ourselves back to the centre and crossing the ankles, bringing the arms down, and pressing the feet into the floor, maybe those pelvic tilts, squeezing up and arching the back away. And knees into the chest. And the fourth basic move for the spine is the twist. So I'll start with the reclining twist. So arms are out at a T shape and feet on the floor, knees together, feet together. And taking the knees down to the right hand side, looking over the left fingertips. If here you'd like a deeper stretch, you can cross your left foot so it's underneath the right calf. So a twisted roots we call this. So it's a deeper stretch. We can maybe just kind of cross the knees over, drawing the knees over to the right. We don't have to have that foot underneath the left calf. That's quite intense. Still looking over the left fingertips. Maybe just edge the shoulders a bit to the right. So twists are really good for the spine, really good for the abdominals as well. With our arms stretched out, we're opening the lymph nodes in the armpits, we're opening the chest. For the abdominals, like I said, we're toning. We're also warming up the digestive system. and also wringing out toxins in the digestive system. So if you hold for 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes, you're giving yourself a mini detox. So great after holidays. And slowly bring the knees to the centre. If the legs are crossed, uncross the legs. And shuffle back to the centre. And then we bring our knees down to our left hand side. If you want to add the cross, you can just cross the knees, or you can try and bring that right foot so it's underneath the left shin. Bring the knees down to the left. Might want to shuffle your shoulders a little bit to the left. You can look over the right fingertips, or you can just have the face facing up. Slowly lifting out, drawing the knees to centre and crossing the legs if you have them crossed. And then bringing the knees into the chest, hugging the knees in, knees side to side. So those are the first 4 basic stretches for our spine. So we'll add a couple more, or 1 more for each. So the flexion, we'll lift up to seated. So with this, with the dragons, which is a lunge, I'll show you how we can add flexion and extension. So from all 4s, stepping the right foot forward. And if we kind of round our back over our right thigh and bring our chin towards our chest, we've got that flexion of the spine. take 6 breaths here. And lifting up slowly. Bringing one hand at a time onto the right thigh and drawing our chest forward, maybe going deeper into the lunge, drawing our shoulders back. And here we've got that gentle extension of the spine in our lower back. We could even stretch the fingertips up towards the ceiling, taking the arms behind, or interlock the fingers behind for a deeper extension, holding for 6 breaths. Bringing your right hand on towards the rest on the right thigh and stretch the left fingertips up. You can also bring the right elbow onto the right thigh or the right fingertips down to the right hand side. Bringing the left fingertips over to the right, so we have that lateral stretch up the left hand side of the body. 6 breaths. And then bringing our left hand down, drawing the right fingertips up, twisting the chest to the right. We can also bring our right hand to our lower back. So 6 breaths here, looking towards your right or looking over the right shoulder if the neck feels okay. We can shake the head or we can bring the chin towards the chest, nodding the head. So the dragons, as we've seen, are a good way to get all degrees of movement in our spine. So bringing the right hand down, and the right foot back and the right knee down, back into tabletop. So here just stretching out the backs of the legs, stepping the right foot back, really pushing the right heel back, feel the opening in the back of the right leg, and left leg back. If we push that heel back and draw the kneecap up, it can intensify the stretch in the back of the leg. Couple more each side. And from here, stepping our left foot forward. So first of all, if we turn our right toes under, we can stretch the right leg back a bit more to get a deeper stretch in the front of the thigh. And then going into the flexion, so rounding our spine, draping our chest over our left thigh, about 6 breaths again. Lifting up slowly, one hand at a time onto the left thigh. Bring our chest forward, our shoulders back, create that little bit of an arch in the lower back. can stretch the hands up, palms facing each other, fingers back, arms back, or interlock the fingers and take the hands behind. Great for our posture. Will intensify the stretch in the hip flexors. Draw the hands down toward the floor if you're going with this option. And 6 breaths. And then releasing. So going into that lateral stretch for the outside of the body, the right hand side. So you can have the elbow on the left thigh, stretching the right fingertips over to the left, or we can bring the left fingertips down. 6 breaths. Really ease those right fingertips over to the left so we can intensify the stretch. And bringing our right hand to the floor underneath our right shoulder and rotating the chest to the left. Maybe stretch the left fingertips up or bring the left hand to the lower back. So the twisted drag into our left. Slowly release, so left hand outside the left foot back, slowly left knee down, and from here stretching out the legs, so really pushing the right heel back, drawing the right kneecap up, and then change sides, left heel back, left kneecap up, opening up the back of the legs. And again, if you want to be a bit more deeper with the stretch, we turn the toes under, lift the knees off, and bring the chest through to the thighs, and then maybe straightening the legs, walking the dog, one heel presses into the floor or the knee bends. Slowly bringing the knees back to the mat. So we've got a couple of options, one more flexion. So the flexion could be sitting down and coming forward with the hands forward and the back rounded into caterpillar. If you want a deeper stretch up the back of the legs, you would flex your heels away and toes towards the face. So you'll either feel this in your lower back or your hamstrings. If you have your heels away and toes towards the face, that's a deeper stretch, obviously for the calves, hamstrings. You can reach for your toes or your shins or ankles. Help to draw yourself forward a bit.
Then you can bring your chin towards your chest and shake the head side to side, maybe chin to shoulders, or you can nod the head up and down. And 6 more breaths in caterpillar. Bring ourselves out slowly, lifting up, going into the counter pose, so taking the hands behind, either with straight legs, lifting up into inclined plane, so straight legs, toes are pointed, bent legs. All we're doing is lifting the hips up, breathing in, notice the stretch in the front of the body, maybe looking up towards the ceiling, breathing out to lower, and 2 or 3 more. Breathe in to lift, breathe out to lower. So the inclined plane is great for strengthening the shoulders and the arms. And slowly lying on our backs. And we always finish with a reclining twist. Just brings the body to its natural equilibrium. Kind of resets the spine as well. So we can go into the twisted roots one by crossing the knees, or we can stick with the knees together and the feet together. Arms out to the side, palms up or palms down. Knees slowly down to the right. Here we can stretch the left arm above the head with the palm up. And close the eyes. Working now on the 10-second breath. That will be 4 inhale, pause, 4 exhale, and pause. Bring our left arm down, bring the knees to the centre, feet to the centre, maybe uncrossing the knees, and then adjusting the pelvis and the spine, and then change to the left side, so knees slowly down, cross the right knee over the left. If you want to do the cross twist, and then stretch the right arm above the head, with the palm facing up. Focus on the 10-second breath. And now right arm down, knees to the centre, knees into the chest. And the final stretch is constructive rest, with the knees together and feet away from each other. Chin is towards the chest, hands resting on the tummy or the side ribs, and for 2 minutes focus on the 3-part breath. So the tummy rises, then the side ribs and the chest, and chest releases side ribs and tummy. As you exhale, notice the lower back as it sinks softly into your mat. So if you like, stay here for a bit longer in the constructive rest, focusing on your deep yogic breathing, or bring yourself out in your own time, moving in whichever way feels good for you.
And thanks for joining. Hope you enjoyed and hope to see you soon again. Thank you. Bye.